How coaches build watch lists and rank their recruits. College coaches work off a list of players that they are recruiting. Let's call it their watch list. They are constantly adding and subtracting names from these lists and begin to build one master list as a staff for each graduating class as early as your freshman year. Separate lists for each group are constantly growing and being edited: seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen, junior college players, and international athletes. Just because coaches can't contact you as a freshman or sophomore, that doesn't mean that they aren't already getting organized and doing their research on your class. As we discussed in a previous video, there are 7 main ways college coaches and recruiting staffs discover recruits. Once they get a lead on a name from one of these trusted sources, they add the player to their database and watch list. Each assistant coach has a top list of players that they are actively recruiting. Depending on what time of year it is and where they are in the recruiting cycle, this is the list of prospects that they will regularly call, visit, do research on, and try to get to campus for an unofficial or official visit. Actively recruiting is the key phrase, and this group includes players who have already committed to their school, players who have already been offered a scholarship, or players who are on the verge of getting an offer. For example, each assistant coach may have a list of 25 to 30 top players on their watch list. Recruits who are getting mail, invites to campus, and calls. They are also trying to evaluate another 20 potential players that they've heard really great things about from trusted sources. After those in-person evaluations, they will likely drop 5 to 10 top players but come back with 10 new names to add. Usually as a staff, or maybe directed by the head coach, the recruits are evaluated position by position and ranked in order of preference for that program. Some staffs watch back-to-back footage of players by position and then give their feedback and predict how that player will develop and succeed or struggle in their program or system. Say, one day they might watch film of all wide receivers and focus on deciding who their top picks would be, in order. The next day they may watch offensive lineman video and order them based on how well they'd succeed in that style of play, with that coaching staff. Along with your athletic ability and academic standing, coaches are also evaluating your intangibles. Intangibles are non-measurable traits but are factors that can help an average player become a great player. Some intangibles that coaches I've worked for prioritized were things like having a great energy or presence, someone who makes smart decisions, poise, competitiveness, toughness, maturity, a genuine love for the game, a team player, someone who recovers from mistakes, who's a hard worker, and a fiery leader. These are all factors that can help you climb in the recruiting world. Even if you are on a national or state top 100 list, that doesn't mean that every coach will think you are a good fit for their system and program. And just because you aren't on any top 100 lists, it doesn't mean that coaches won't be watching and won't notice you. They are specifically at these events to find the best talent, size, and speed. Coaches can sense talent pretty quickly, and it doesn't matter to them if you are a 5-star player or an unranked player. If they like your skills, they will recruit you. It's as simple as that. These watch lists change daily. You can be dropped with no explanation, at any time, for circumstances you can't always control. On the flip side, know that you can also show up on any coach's radar overnight, so keep working hard and remain positive. There is a scramble in the time from when college coaches add you to their watch list, to getting a chance to personally evaluate you for themselves, to getting a feel for your intangibles, academics, to understand your raw athletic talent and your interest level in their program. Each coach's watch list of juniors and seniors changes weekly or even daily. Schools may pay tens of thousands of dollars for the databases that they use to help keep everyone organized and connected. Databases are updated daily, players are added, and internal rankings are always changing. Each school may have 5 or 6 or even more different rating categories to separate their top recruits from other groups, like their B or C lists of players they've subtracted from the list who may one day make it back on, and players who are committed elsewhere. Many have email features and are able to keep track of more information than you'd ever want to know about. Based on what you are rated, you will receive different types of mail, invites, calls, visits, etc. Understand that college coaches are always 3 steps ahead in their research and evaluations, and they're always trying to discover the best players in the area before every other college does, and build those relationships with prospects, coaches, and high schools first. That's why these lists are like gold to the coaches. Your job is to focus on those 7 ways mentioned in our previous video to catch the attention and interest of coaches, and try to work yourself onto these watch lists.